Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your #1 source for all things classic Tetris. I'm your favorite underwater host, Sharky, and today we got quite a good amount of information. It's not going to be as in-depth or as frantic as the last episode, because I know we was covering like all these different LAN events, every 30 seconds. We have just a few events to cover today, as well as one thing that has can have a pretty substantial impact on the community as a whole. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dig into today's episode of the Classic Tetris Insider. First things up, we're going to talk about Classic Tetris France, the first ever LAN event that is hosted in the France region. It will be taking place on the 18th, or by the time this gets out, earlier today, or sometime today. It really depends on the time this gets out. And it will start at 1700 UTC, which, if I'm not mistaken, is 11 a.m. Central, and you'll be able to run time conversions after that. It will be a single limb best of 5 bracket and is going to be taking place at the Extra Life Cafe in Paris. So if you do want to check that out, it will be streamed on either Classic Tetris 1 or Classic Tetris 2. I can't say for certain because there is a little bit of a time conflict, because we're going to get straight into our next event to explain why, which is of course Classic Tetris Vegas, or CTWC Vegas rather. CTWC Vegas is going to be happening at the Vegas Convention Center. Man, I can't speak right now. It's going to be happening at the Vegas Convention Center, and it's going to have quals starting at 11 a.m. Central, or not Central, 11 a.m. local time, 1900 UTC. Bracket play will be starting at 4 p.m. local time. So definitely is going to be interesting. I believe a lot of high skill players are going to be going there. Now this will be restreamed on either Classic Tetris 1 or Classic Tetris 2. As you can see, there is a time conflict as both of these are on that 18th day of February. So just be keeping an eye out for both of these channels on Twitch, Classic Tetris and Classic Tetris 2. There is no Classic Tetris 1, just Classic Tetris. You get what I mean. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Those are 2 LAN events that we have coming up this weekend. On the topic of other events, we have the Pal Benelux Cup. The Pal Benelux Cup will have its top 8 on the 26th on the Classic Tetris Pal channel, starting at 1900 UTC or 1 p.m. Central. So if you are a fan of Pal and you're in the Luxembourg, Belgium, and Netherlands region, see, I got all 3 of them. If you're in that region and you want to show some support for the players that are there, then do check out the stream. The NTSC Benelux Club should be sometime later this year. Of course, as soon as I have information on that, I'll be able to provide that to you guys. Up next, the PAL Swiss Winter 2023. Signups will end at noon UTC on the 26th of February. Match week will start that following 27th. It will be streamed on Classic Tetris Pal. For more information on this particular event, you can join the CTP, or the Classic Tetris Pal Discord server. Like I said, all relevant, or actually I haven't said that this much this episode, but all relevant information and things will be linked down in the description below in a document that I maintain. But now we're going to talk about a couple more things. This time is a side, well, I wouldn't say it's a side event, it is an event in itself, but it's also ran by Monthly Tetris, but it's not the core event of Monthly Tetris. I know I probably made that sound needlessly complicated, but I don't have any excuse. Of course, I'm talking about Classic Tetris Pal. So Classic Tetris Pal is actually the PAL monthly version of Classic Tetris. I mean, you have Classic Tetris Monthly, which focuses on NTSC, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in this episode. But then you also have Classic Tetris Pal, which focuses on the PAL version of the game. Anyways, with regards to Classic Tetris Pal, it holds tournaments either bi-monthly or once every 30 months, or quarterly. It's all played on the PAL version of the game, and the top tier does have a prize pool. So if you live in the EU, or one of those regions that is considered a PAL region, and you would like to participate, or if you have a way to play PAL without the necessity of being somewhere in Europe or other places, then feel free to join the Classic Tetris Pal Discord server. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our last couple of events. We have a few more. It's going to be talking about CTL, CTM, and CTG. And then, of course, the one special thing I mentioned. Like I said, this is going to be a very brief episode. The recap that happens at the end of the month should be a longer episode as we recap certain events, highlight certain events, and of course, yeah. Of course, there will also be content rolling out on this channel shortly following CTWC Vegas and Classic Tetris France. But enough about that rambling, let's talk about Classic Tetris Monthly. Classic Tetris Monthly, of course, for those of you that don't know, is the premier online tournament in the Classic Tetris scene. We're talking about prize pools can reach anywhere from 2K to 5K every single month. And of course, that is awarded to the top 16, or rather, the top tier, which includes the top 16 players that go through a qualification system. However, don't let that intimidate you because they have tournaments for all skill levels. So whether you are a 500k player, just starting to get into competitive, or you're a veteran, you got a couple of max outs, or maybe even a 1.1 under your belt, and you want to participate in this event, you'll be able to find more information in the link or in the links down in the description below. Take you directly to the link tree, which takes you all the way to their YouTube channel, the Discord server, and all other relevant medias. So if you are interested, please do check out that in the description below. On the topic of online events, we're going to talk about Classic Tetris League. Classic Tetris League is the it's the league format in the Classic Tetris scene. I was going to say Premier League format, but there's only one Premier League format, or not necessarily Premier League format. There's only one league format. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, Classic Tetris Classic Tetris League Season 20 will be having its registrations open. So if you are interested in joining a league format, a little bit different than monthly Tetris, you're guaranteed to play a certain amount of matches no matter how far you make it in your division. You're going to play a certain amount of matches, and depending on your performance, you may get promoted or you could get relegated. It all depends up to you. Of course, you can always stay exactly where you are if you just have a performance that is, average. That probably was mean. I apologize. Anyways, if you want to find out more information on how to participate, do check out the link down in the description below, and that'll take you straight to that'll have the document which will have accessibility to the Discord server. And now for our final news of the day, and well, before we get into our second to last news of the day, forgive me, Classic Tetris Gauntlet. Classic Tetris Gauntlet recently concluded the Overdrive playoffs, and you'll hear more about that on the next episode of The Insider. But if you are interested in becoming part of a team, or even trying to learn how to get better at the game in terms of joining the Mino League, then do join the Classic Tetris Gauntlet Discord server, which will of course be linked in the document, and that will take you directly to all the information that you need in order to join for this upcoming season. Registrations will end on March 20th, so you got a month about to decide. But with that being said, that is all the news that we had to cover regarding events. But there is one special thing, and one special thing that I want to highlight, and that is, of course, we are on Liquipedia. So for those of you that don't know, Liquipedia is kind of like a sort of database, or well, it's a wiki, but it keeps track of all different kinds of esports and things of that nature. So if you wanted to find out information about, let's say, Valorant, and you wanted to see, who are the players, how much have they earned, what are the teams and everything, you'll be able to do that thanks to Liquipedia. So now the same thing has happened for Classic Tetris. So, well, not just Classic Tetris, but Tetris in general. So we are now on Liquipedia, and currently me and a couple of others are working together to try and get all the information that we have compiled in our scene. Since we are really diligent about keeping track of everything that happens, we are working on trying to compile this and to get it into the wiki. So if you are interested in seeing the wiki, and potentially, maybe you don't have English, maybe you have some free time and you like to contribute and help input data and stuff, then be sure to check out the description and check out the Liquipedia Discord server link. That'll take you straight to there, and you'll be able to find us and me and other people in the Tetris pre-alpha wiki. Of course, if you want to check out the wiki, you can just search up Tetris on Wikipedia. There's already a good chunk of information there, but our scene is massive. We have several online events, and so, just from just from one passionate player to potentially a passionate viewer or another passionate player, if you do have time and you'd like to help out, then of course, why not? But that is going to conclude it for today. I know it was a really short episode, but outside of all the things that we covered in the last Insider, there really wasn't much to talk about. Of course, we're going to be talking a lot more in the upcoming Insider. We're going to have a couple of recaps, as well as there's going to be content coming out regularly on this channel featuring Classic Tetris or CTWC Vegas and the Classic Tetris France events. So do keep your eyes peeled out for that. But of course, I'm your favorite underwater host, Sharky, and I'll see you next time on our next episode of the Classic Tetris Insider.